the top.
Booch. We playing Booch ball. Booch. We playing Booch ball.
Hello and welcome back to Booch Ball, the only podcast on the internet talking kombucha and college sports. I'm Alex, joined as always by my lovely co-host Freed. How you doing there, Freed?
Fantastic. Technical difficulties aside, we're out here live streaming. Life is good.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Freed. We are live on Twitter, YouTube, and on your podcast app, however you're listening to that. So welcome, Boochies. Welcome, Noochies, which is what I just came up with for new Boochies. What do you think, Freed?
I don't play.
Pretty good. Well, speaking of some Noochies, we've got some new faces joining us here on the podcast. We've actually got not just one, but two guys named Rob that we went to college with. Big get for us on the podcast. We've had so far an ESPN announcer. We've had a co-founder of the Brew Doctor Kombucha Company. And now we have two guys that we were in a fraternity with in college.
But there's good reason. These guys know Philadelphia football. And as you know, Alex, it is Temple Week. You and I and our Miami Hurricanes are all venturing to Philly. So without further ado, let's bring in our first Rob of the day. He was a first-string kicker for Malvern Prep Academy Christian School in 2010-2011 football season. He famously kicked a 50-yard field goal in Al Golden's face as University of Miami's fifth-string kicker from 2011 to 2015. Here is Dr. Rob Dolphus.
Hey, thanks for having me, boys. Go
Good to see you.
Canes.
The doctor will see us now. Welcome to the podcast, Rob. This is, I believe, your first appearance on Booch Ball, correct?
It is. And thankfully, I'm a better dentist than I was kicker.
Except for that 50-yard bomb, though. Never forget about that.
No, I barely remember it.
Well, there you go. Well, folks. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Freed. This is live, folks.
We're live, and it's hard to believe, but the screen is big enough for both of them. Introducing Rob number 2 from LaSalle College Preparatory Academy, third-string defensive end, 3-time All-State, Rob Bobby James Kelly.
What's up, everyone? How we doing?
Welcome back, Rob Kelly, Bobby James. You were
Good
one
to
of our
be here.
first
Train
ever
all
guests.
day, Booch Ball podcast at night, all day.
Hell yeah. He's got his Sebastian the Ibis. That actually looks more authentically like an Ibis than the actual Sebastian the Ibis thing.
It's got a
Why
ratio.
does he?
It's got a ratio like Rob Dolphus here. So
Nice bill.
nice marmot, dude.
Yeah, nice one.
Oh my God. Welcome to the podcast, boys.
Thanks for having
Booch
me.
Ball. So we had to bring our Philly correspondents here, as like Freed said. We will be traveling down to the city of brotherly love this weekend to watch your Miami Hurricanes take on their Temple Owls. A matchup of former Big East schools, actually. Back in the day, back when I was growing up as a Miami Hurricanes fan, we used to wipe the floor with Temple on a regular basis. So hopefully we'll get back to our winning ways, or at least continue them, because we didn't talk about this on the pod. But boys, we're 2-0.
3-0.
3-0.
3-0. Bethune-Cookman counts too.
Bethune-Cookman. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dolphins, you probably could have been their second string kicker.
Yeah, there's a decent chance of that.
Yeah. But here we go. We're riding hot, boys. And it's now time for the first segment of Booch Ball. It's time for us to tell you what we're drinking. What we're drinking. Now, Robs, I know you guys picked up whatever kombucha you could at the local Whole Foods. What Freed and I are drinking is a little limited edition action here from the good doctors over at Brew Doctor, who we had as our featured guest of the week last week. We actually had a different Rob. We've now had a string of 3 Robs in a row. But we will be drinking the Founders Series Raspberry Limeade for you all live. So why don't we go ahead and pop these suckers open and start drinking some Booch, boys.
Let's
Shout
do
out
it.
Brew Doctor, my second favorite doctor in the chat here. So
And boys, what will you be
Much
drinking
love.
over there?
I've got the organic kombucha by Brew Doctor, tasty fizzy probiotic tea, the prickly pear version.
Prickly pear. Okay.
Yeah, prickly pear, lime, and green tea.
Nice. Dollface?
I went with the champ. I went with the Synergy GT's trilogy. It's nice, packed with 9 billion living probiotics, which should
Billions
make
and
for a
billions.
good tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. That's how they
Billions
get
and
you.
billions.
Speaking of things
Yeah.
being packed, my I don't know if you were experiencing this, Reed, but my Booch is
Gentle-
filled to
gentle
the
there, Rob.
absolute brim.
I can't believe it. Mine is as well. I actually
Yeah.
just inverted, and with one simple inversion, I'm already at the top.
That's
Yep.
the most Booch per capita that you're gonna see out there. So let's go ahead and let's take some sips, take some sniffs, and see what we think.
That's something, boys. This is my first ever kombucha.
Really?
So we
Wow.
are popping the Booch cherry right now.
Starting strong.
I had my
And it's
first
not
ever
so bad.
Booch on Booch Ball too.
And it's not so bad. High praise
Not
from
so bad.
Dr. Dolphus.
Bad but better. That's the theme of the year for us.
Yeah.
All right, Freed, what are we thinking of this raspberry limeade?
So far, so good. Didn't really know what to expect here. It's only a 1% juice, which is new for me. I've never seen a 1% juice, so it's not too sweet. Has good flavor. Curious to see what the ingredients say a little later.
Let's read what they say on the bottle here. It says, "Surfs up. This tasty blend of tart raspberries and sweet limes took our imaginations to the sunny beaches of Southern California, home of our friend and tattoo artist Reese Hilburn."
Well,
Okay.
like we talked about with the other Rob from Brew Doctor, Rob Nolenberger, last week, they have a rating scale. It's like Madden attributes for your kombucha. So we got 3 fruity, 1 floral, no spicy, no herbal. We'll see how that one shakes out.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Yeah, nothing's like, it's not bursting with flavor. I'm not like, if I was drinking this taste tested, I wouldn't be able to, like, if I was doing a blind test, I wouldn't be able to tell you it was raspberry limeade, but it does taste good.
Yeah, and that's not a bad thing. Sometimes they are a little too much, too sweet for us.
Yeah, well, not the case today. All right, boys, we will continue to be drinking these kombuchas over the course of the show. We'll get back to you later with our final rating of the Brew Doctor Raspberry Limeade, and we'll take the Prickly Pear and Trilogy. We'll factor it in. We'll put it on a spreadsheet somewhere and file it away. But boys, we've told you what we're drinking. It is now time for us to tell you here at Booch Ball what we're thinking.
What we're thinking.
There you go. See,
What
Freed, we
we're
don't add it in
thinking.
anymore, so you
Yeah, I
should
was
just
waiting
say
for
it.
the add-in.
Yeah, Freed should just say it until we figure that out with the multimedia setup that we got here. We're live, boys, with Rob and Rob, our former members of the Miami. Oh, Freed's just putting the empty live chat on the video now.
We got like 4 comments.
I think it was mostly us, wasn't it? Oh, Sam, that's okay. We can read it out loud for you. We don't need. We only have
Yeah.
so much space to work with here.
That's a lot of Robs up in this chat.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of
we've got,
Robs.
we've not only do we have Philly correspondence, we also really do have football correspondence here. Everybody, in the world knows that Rob Dolphus was, in different stints, the starting quarterback of the Miami flag Kappa Sigma flag football team. And Rob was playing out there somewhere in the defense, kind of in like a tight end role, also maybe like a cornerback.
It's our middle linebacker,
kind of
man. Put
vibe.
some
Oh,
respect
that's
on
right.
his
That's
name.
right.
That's right. I was waiting for it.
He was the Ryan Ragone of our
I
flag
had the
football
green.
team.
I had the green sticker on the back of the helmet.
And Freed was our short snapper. Isn't that right, Freed?
That's right.
Yeah, you're.
The
And I
only-
was.
the only center that has 100 receptions in his career.
Receiving center.
Yeah.
Receiving.
And
center.
I was kind of like the Travis Hunter of the team a little bit because I was both the running back and the defensive end.
Yeah.
That's true. Little Austin Eckler in you.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bowling ball for
yeah.
me. All right, boys. Well, we got, we don't really care too much about your hot takes around football. What we really want to do is get into brass tacks here. We're going to Philadelphia. We're going to can you guys explain what it is that like I've been to the Philly sports zone once to watch like a lacrosse game with former guest Matt Ghazi. But can you talk to us about like what the setup is in Philly with all your stadiums?
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. If you go down Broad Street, straight from the city down to South Philadelphia, you come upon the Philadelphia sports mecca. On the four corners of the street, you've got the Wells Fargo Center, home of the Sixers and the Flyers. Try not to go there because both those teams suck.
Trust the process.
You got the Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies on one corner. You got Lincoln Financial Field, home of the Birds, on the other corner. And on the fourth corner, we've got Xfinity Live, which we're going to talk about after. It's the only place in the country where all four sports stadiums are within a stone's throw of each other. Fact.
Sounds kind of like the four corners in the southwestern United States, where you can walk to 4 states at a time.
Effectively,
Yeah. Yeah. You could get drunk in 4 different sporting arenas.
Is there
One
ever a
made
time
for drinking?
What are the time like when are the most amount of games happening at the same time?
So I'll answer that question for you, Alex. And as a music guy, you'll like this. The year was 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Phillies were playing in the World Series against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yep.
Eagles were playing Monday Night Football against Atlanta Falcons. And
Yep.
Rob was with his dad at the Who concert at the Wells Fargo Center. Me. All three arenas rocking at the same time. Very rare.
That's very interesting.
And we'll have 2 going this Saturday,
have
right?
2 this
Because
Saturday.
the Phillies are playing.
That's right.
Yep.
Interesting. Is there going to be a lot of like crossover? Is there mixing between the groups? I imagine everybody in Philly, I feel like, is trying to fight everybody at any
such
given time.
Fake news.
Is that
Fake
okay?
news.
That's fake.
Yeah, a Philadelphia sports
Um,
tailgate is one of the most welcoming events you'll ever go to.
Really?
You could spend the entire time roaming around tailgate to tailgate, usually trying to use somebody's bathroom in their RV. Pro tip. And there's always somebody offering you a drink.
What if I go around looking for a fight?
Oh, you'll find one.
Says the guy with a Youth XL shirt and tag inside the shirt. You might not want to look for a fight.
You might find a 12-year-old guy trying to fight you.
He just
Beat up
goes
a
around
little
looking for
middle schooler.
Oklahoma drills.
Alex
That's
just looks
some
like the
kids.
Notre Dame logo. So
Wow, that's true. I could have crushed it at Notre Dame. My last name is McGuire, so
good
I
thing
really
you
could have
didn't.
done that. All right, so can we expand upon it since Dolphus, can you tell us about where we're going to be going after Miami wins, which we are favored to do by I
Yeah.
think 24 points? Where will we be going for the after festivities?
So it's a bit of a two-part endeavor because you go immediately after to Xfinity Live, right? We get some good food there.
What is
plenty of
Xfinity Live?
drinks.
Tell me more.
It is
What does that
it is
mean?
the biggest sports bar you'll ever go to.
Really?
There's 4 sports bars in this complex with TVs covering a 30-yard wall. And then you go into a room next to it, and it's a beer hall, similar to that place in the Miracle Mile we'd go to, except inside. And then you could ride the bull in another room, which Freed will be doing.
And if you drink
then-
that, you can ride the horse.
Yeah. Well, that's Wednesday night when he arrives. And so after that, if you walk a little bit further, there's a beautiful brand new casino.
Really?
And that is the Philadelphia Sports Complex. You do those things, and you're gonna have a good time.
Interesting. So we can just stay there all the live long day, pretty much, because
Yeah.
so the game got pushed to a 3:30 kickoff. Thank God.
Yep,
That's
so
a
we don't
pretty
have
good
to go
time
12
for us.
o'clock.
I like that.
it's a great time. Yeah.
That's pretty ideal. Okay, I have another question for you guys. What's the food scene like inside the stadium? Is there any city-specific foods that need to be
You
hit?
got 2 that you got to go for.
Yeah.
One, of course, Philadelphia cheesesteak. Not telling you in the stadium are going to be the best, but they're good.
Yeah.
You got to wet the beak, right? You got to get a little wet the beak in there. If you never had one,
Wait, do
it's
it
not
to your
gonna be the
Booch.
best one you've ever had, but it soaks up your Coors Light's pretty good. Follow it up with some crab fries, Chickies and Pete's,
Yes.
world famous.
Yep.
Crab fries, crinkle cut, a little bit of Old Bay seasoning on it, melted white
Yep.
American cheese together, match made in heaven.
No real crab,
England,
right?
pro tip.
Just crab.
No real
seasoning.
crab.
Okay.
No real
Yeah,
crab.
no real
Yeah.
crab.
Okay.
And if you can't, we should have, in the designated area for our Miami fans, the club level, there's typically a pretty good food scene up there with some fresh made sandwiches, and
Love that.
you should
Love
do
that.
okay up there.
This is
And-
inside the stadium itself.
Yes, but
Okay.
I would suggest eating something while we tailgate, having some crab fries in the stadium, and getting yourself into a nice cheesesteak at Xfinity after, and maybe even a slice of. Don't we have the giant pizza in Xfinity too? Rob?
Lorenzo's.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. You could make the Philly taco, which is a slice of giant cheese pizza with a cheesesteak inside.
Wow.
Interesting. I'm gonna need a Booch to settle my stomach after that, I imagine.
Before and after. Got to
Mhm.
lube it up and then finish strong.
Double
So
Booch up.
for those of you listening at home, if you're thinking, how do I get involved in this Booch Ball Club level section? I have at least 2 extra tickets, so you're going to want to DM and see if you can slide into our section. It's not too late.
Booch ball giveaway? Who says
Maybe.
no?
My wallet. But
Interesting.
All right, interesting.
Well, Freed,
That checks
speaking
out.
of wallets, it's time for us to play, as we often do on Booch Ball, a fun little game. Isn't that right? This week on the podcast, we've got 2 Robs with us here today. And so what better game to play than Who Got Robbed?
Robbed.
Robbed.
And for those of you not
Robbed.
following along at home, this is a game that we made up for the podcast today. So we've got a couple Robs on here. So we're going to go around the horn here, and we're going to give our hot takes on people who got robbed, things that were robbed, guys named robbed, hopefully in the college football realm or otherwise, depending on where this rambling road takes us. Now,
Well,
Freed,
since you said Rambling Road, I'm going to go ahead and get us started off with this because it works too well. It's not college football. How about college basketball? The Loyola Ramblers robbed the Miami Hurricanes in 2018
Oof.
March Madness. Sister Jean, actually, she's 104 years old. Little shout out to Sister Jean. We love you. But you robbed us that
she
night.
sucks.
Because listen to
That
this
old hag.
Listen, Miami was a 6th seed in this tournament. They lost in the first round with a roster that included the following: DeJuan Hewell, Lonnie Walker, Jaquan Newton, Chris Likes, Amp Lawrence, DJ Vasilovich, Abuka Azundu, Sam Wardenberg, and Bruce Brown, who was injured and did not play in that game. But that's a lot of pretty good players to lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Wow, you've been harboring that resentment for quite some time, Freed. I'm glad you were able to get this out.
Yes.
Been waiting for this segment.
Yeah, no kidding. No wonder you suggested it. All right. Very good, Freed. Thanks for starting us off. Bobby James, Rob Kelly, would you like to get us next?
Yeah, you know who got robbed and I'm still upset about it? It's the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 57. There was a holding call with 1 minute and 11 seconds left against James Bradbury on 3rd down. He didn't even touch him. The ball was uncatchable, flew over the Kansas City Chiefs receiver's head, led to a 1st down. Chiefs ran out the clock, kicked the game-winning field goal, and the script remains the script. They all hate us. They hate us because they ain't us.
Wow. Go Birds. I'm sorry that happened to you. That's rough. That's rough. Where was that game? Where did that happen? Oh, you're poppling again, Dolphus.
That game was
That's a good word for
in
it.
Arizona, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm beginning to think the state of Arizona does not like the Robs, because
Mhm.
mine's go 3 Fiesta Bowl, in which
Yep.
we were robbed by Ohio State by the refs on another bogus pass interference
in
and,
Tempe,
you know,
Arizona,
in
at the
Tempe,
Fiesta Bowl.
Arizona. And that was the
Mhm.
last, I believe that was the last year they played in that stadium before that godforsaken place in Glendale was built, which was, I was at the game, a terrible place to watch football.
What was that referee's name? Something Porter. Not Daryl Porter. Not Joey Porter.
Oh, Porter? Maybe.
Something
I
Porter.
Let's call him out.
Yeah.
Ref, Miami, OSU. Let's see what's his name. Flag gone wrong. Miami fans still cursing Porter's name to this day. Terry Porter
Terry.
on
Oh,
blast.
always hate
You
Terry.
robbed
Yeah.
us, Terry.
You thought we forgot? Mm-mm.
Nope.
My dad really wants to get there's the T-shirt that has 5 rings and then it has a flag, a yellow flag on it. Yeah.
Shout out Dime Life. That's who makes that shirt.
Yeah, Dime Life. I got a Dime Life chain. I was
Wow,
at
I
a
haven't
bar
had
the other day and I
that in a
met a
while.
guy I met I was watching the Jets game, and I met a guy who went to high school with DJ Williams, and he was like, and he honestly he was talking a little smack about his designs. He was talking some smack on the Dime Life designs. He was like, they need to get me in there and actually make some real stuff. Like, their stuff is it's trash, but DJ Williams is cool though.
Yeah.
His designs are trash.
Yeah, you better make sure you say that.
Yeah, you don't want DJ Williams coming after you. All right, folks. Well, I got a Rob for you here. This was I was gonna hit this a little bit harder, but I feel like I need to now soften my blow because my Rob selection was the entirety of the college football world was robbed after number 11 from Colorado State, Henry Blackburn, lacerated Travis Hunter's kidney on a late hit. And now Travis Hunter is out for 3 weeks, which means he will be out for both the Oregon game this weekend and the USC game. So they're losing their best two-way player. Imagine if I got knocked out of a flag football game. How that would have been bad.
Instead of losing by 7, we would have lost by 20.
You said the motto this year was bad but better, right?
Exactly.
I think that's what would happen to the football team.
So that is the that's who I wanted to say until I went on to ESPN.com and saw that the second highest top headline is Colorado State player family received death threats after the hit. So apparently everybody's already kind of got that lane covered of trashing Henry Blackburn. So
look, there's a little bit of dirty play on both sides there. You saw the Shador with the eye pokage.
And if he just knocked his wind out, if he did the lacerated kidney, no one tries to lacerate a kidney.
Right.
But so
this is not the last. This is not the last we're going to get to talk about Colorado because they are on our slate. So we can save some hot takes for the slate later.
And I'll say that if I was to change it to something else, I'm not exactly sure what's happening here, but you guys all know HelloFresh, the meal delivery service, right?
Yeah.
So
is this an ad read?
I know I replaced my credit card.
Is this an ad read? Wow.
I replaced my credit card like a month and a half ago. And that was the credit card that's on my HelloFresh account. And I have not uploaded that. I've gotten some emails from them asking me to create my new credit card. By the way, Rob, you're popping again. I'm gonna mute your ass, I think. Oh. Oh, he's gone.
He was very offended. He was highly offended. And he's back.
And still sort of popping. Anyways, they wanted me to replace my credit card. I didn't. They sent me a follow-up message. I was like, hey, if you don't replace your credit card, then we're going to we're gonna have to cancel your account. They have not canceled my account. They have continued to send me 3 boxes of HelloFresh without me paying for it because I can't. My card isn't in. So I think at this point, I just stick it out as long as possible and then just terminate my relationship with HelloFresh and then go to something else like a Blue Apron.
So you're saying HelloFresh got robbed?
Yes, I think I'm robbing HelloFresh.
Okay.
We've established previously on Booch Ball that Alex actually is a thief. He was bragging about how he went somewhere and just
let's just say that I'm not allowed
things.
in my local Whole Foods. They've got me up. I'm up on some signs at the 3rd Avenue Whole Foods.
It was something along the lines of, yeah, I've been dating this girl and she's teaching me how to steal.
Well, she didn't teach me how to steal. She just kind of reminded me of
that it's okay because these corporations are bad. So
we're all obviously joking here to all my future and current employers. Totally joking. And I have the money to pay for everything. Is it stealing if HelloFresh keeps sending me boxes of food when they don't have my credit card information? And what are they going to do? Send it to a collection agency? HelloFresh?
You robbed for 20% off your first order of HelloFresh.
For 100% off if you use my code. All right, folks. Well, that was our game. Say it with me.
Who got robbed?
Amazing. All right. Well, Freed just mentioned it. We've told you what we're drinking here. The raspberry limeade. Freed, you want to take a quick stop on the Booch Barometer Express? Tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's not like overpowering in any way. I'm really enjoying it. We do have a dentist on the show though, so I think now is a great time to get a little dental advice on how to
Oh, thank God.
properly drink your kombucha.
I was worried we weren't going to get to this segment. And the segment's canceled.
And it's over.
And Rob, check your microphone.
And he's in. All right, folks, we're now moving right along to the third and final segment of Booch Ball. We've told you what we're drinking, the Brew Dr. Raspberry Limeade. We've told you who got robbed, and apparently it was Rob's video feed that got robbed. It's now time for us to tell you who we're picking.
Who we're picking.
Very good, boys. Very good. All right. Once we get Dolphus back and hopefully we have his microphone woes solved, or we could just keep this black screen up for the remainder of the episode. Who's to say? Rob, do you want to do your Stone Cold Austin entrance? Oh, no, he's back. Let's see if we can hear him.
How we doing?
Hey, do you want to tell us about the teeth thing? You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds on the clock.
No, just remember when you have your Booch, drink a little water, mix a water in from time to time. Helps to prevent the acid erosion of your enamel. Because Booch it's very, very acidic. It's right there with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And don't brush your teeth right after you Booch because you'll help that enamel wear away itself.
It'll like spread.
So it's because it's weak.
Exactly.
The enamel's weak
because
at
it's
that
weak
point.
At that point, you want to mix in a water, wait like 20 minutes or so, and then you can have your teeth brushing and go to bed.
By mixing a water, you're not saying half a kombucha, half water. You're saying
no. I'm saying drink a water.
Not.
I just want to make sure the Boochies know what's going on. I don't want them going to their dentist
kombucha podcast
saying, "Hey, listen, this dentist online told me to mix kombucha and water."
All right, Dolphus, I do have another question for you, dental related, that's on a similar note. It is my belief that brushing your teeth is overrated and also like not entirely necessary, because the last couple times I've gone to the dentist, they've actually reprimanded me for over brushing. And they're like, you're wearing away at your gums. You're brushing too hard. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm brushing too hard? They're like, it's a little bristles. How could I possibly be brushing too hard? So I think that flossing and mouthwash, good. Brushing, if you go a couple days without brushing, what's the worst that can happen? Your thoughts?
Disagree with that. I just wouldn't want to smell
Which
you.
part? After the mouthwash?
The best thing you can do, mouthwash, great, floss, great, but you want to get yourself an electric toothbrush that has a pressure sensor on there, and it literally blinks at you if you're doing it too hard.
My toothbrush stays blinking at me. I feel like I can't do it as soft as it wants. I'm too strong.
Well, that can be a problem for some people.
If I had a nickel every time I've heard that.
Moving on.
Rob was sitting there waiting for it.
All right, folks, it's now time for the third and final segment of Booch Ball, which is, of course, who we're picking.
Who are we picking?
We're picking.
All right, Freed, tell us. We've got a bang-up slate for you guys this weekend. Freed, take us away.
Yeah, week 3 was rough, but we got some good ones this week. We got FSU at Clemson, Colorado at Oregon, Oregon State at Wazoo, Ohio State at Notre Dame, and for a nice sediment pick, we got the App State Mountaineers at the Wyoming Other Mountain Peoples.
By the way, Freed, I think I won the Booch bet for the second consecutive week.
You did. No? You're hot, dude. You're also doing well at football right now. You're 9-1 to start the season.
I'll take that Venmo whenever you get a chance.
I got you. Ka-ching. Right. All right, let's start it up here. Boys, we're going to bet on the spreads. So we got Florida State favored by 1.5 points at Clemson. How about we start this thing off with Bobby James?
So, guys, thanks again for having me on the podcast. It's an honor to defend my title from last year, as I got every pick right. So I'm ready to go at it again.
That was 2 years ago, I think.
3 years ago.
That's a long time. That's longer than that.
Whatever. Time flies when you're drinking Booch.
Absolutely.
I got to say, I hate to pick this, but I'm going to pick with my money and not with my heart. And I'm going with
Florida State with
Florida
a
State Seminoles.
poorly photoshopped picture of Rob Dolphus's head on Chief Osceola.
Osceola.
Yeah.
They're going to cover that game so easily. I would even, if anyone wants to get crazy with it,
Yep.
I know they just had a tough game against BC. I'd bet that up to FSU minus 13.5.
Perfect. Dolphus, what do you got?
I agree. I think Dabo's headed for an ending here. Could be in for some heart issues. Could be a little bit of Urban Meyer aspect down there. I don't know.
Interesting.
It feels a little weird down there, doesn't it?
He doesn't want to adapt.
I dislike Dabo more than I dislike Florida State at this point.
I agree.
I think.
Wow, that's a hot take.
In recent history, yeah, like I got no beef with Mike Norvell at all. Like he's just a guy from Memphis. Like, so we're good. So for that reason, I will also
Florida
be taking.
State. I'll take minus. I'd go up to probably 9.5.
Right there with you. But we got 1.5. So what are you doing with it, Freed?
I'm gonna disagree here. I think I see what you guys are saying, Bobby. I get what you're saying. FSU's coming off that Boston College game where they looked really bad, but I mean Clemson's kind of in the same boat, right? They started the season off really bad, and they're just a much better team than that. And at home, Dabo knows this game's important.
Freed's dabbing for the listening audience.
Yeah, there was a dab pause. I'm gonna take Clemson.
It's cringe on video.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
All right, boys. We're gonna let's tighten up these takes here. As much as we love all of your super knowledgeable gambling and sports expertise, we've now got the game that was robbed from us. Colorado at Oregon. Oregon favored by 20.5 points without Travis Hunter on the field. Let's toss it to you, Dolphus.
Like, what are the rules on Dion suiting up for this game? Does he have any eligibility left?
No,
he doesn't have enough toes left.
They could honestly use him for this game. But I gotta believe this is it's gonna be an Oregon cover just because I feel like Colorado State's gonna be down bad after this. They kind of got their swag knocked out from them. Maybe they get it back later, but it definitely hurts losing your best player.
Facts. Kelly?
I'm going with Coach Prime. That was a tough game last week. It kind of showed them this isn't going to be a walk in the park. They got punched in the mouth. They came back. They won it. Oregon put up 81 against Portland State, and they beat Hawaii. They haven't been tested yet. Sorry, Freed. I know they played your Texas Tech, but I'm going Coach Prime and the Buffaloes.
I'm curious what the spread would be if Hunter was playing. I don't think it's more than a 4 or 5 point difference. I mean, he's playing both ways and he's effective, but this is his first game against a legitimate opponent. So I'm going to take Oregon to cover here. I think the Magic's going to run out and Oregon's going to get silly with it.
You hear that, Bobby James? Sounds like a couple non-believers, if you ask me.
I'm bringing my luggage to this one.
Hey, you know what? Coach Prime is keeping his receipts, and as long as I'm in a public forum, I do not want Deion Sanders coming after me. The stakes are too low on this podcast for me to not ride with Deion, so that I can claim Deion membership, Prime membership. That's an idea.
Wow.
That's an idea, folks. All right. So for that reason, I'll be riding with the Buffs.
Yeah, well, I'm a hater. Going to be a hater. Let's stay up in the Pacific Northwest, though. Oregon State at Washington State in the battle for the Pac-12 championship, basically. Oregon State's favored by 2.5 points. How about Alex kicks this one off?
DJ Ukulele, play that song. I got OSU. The Beavers taking this one, boys.
Robert, Dolphus?
I'll go the other way. I'll go Washington State here.
Okay. Bobby?
I watch College Game Day every weekend, and I've been let down by women. I've been let down by family. I've been let down by politicians, but I've never been let down by the flag of Washington State University.
Bobby James channeling his inner Pat McAfee.
I'm staying with my Booch ball brethren here. I agree with Alex. Oregon State. Go Beavers.
Go Beavers, baby. Buffs and Beavers. Love it. All right. Next up, we have the aforementioned Ohio State University favored by 3 points, traveling to South Bend to take on 27-year-old Sam Hartman and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Who you got in this one, Freed?
This is like a win-win, right? Like either way, one of these teams gets to lose. I'm actually going to go with Notre Dame here. I like Ohio State more long-term, but right now, Sam Hartman and the offense looks good.
God, I hate both of these teams so much. Can we cheer for a tie?
You
No.
can cheer for a
What's
push.
your pick?
All right, give me Ohio State.
All right.
I know it's at Notre Dame. Hartman's playing okay, but Ohio State's too good. They're a playoff team, and I don't think Notre Dame has it in them. I think this is a probably a pretty high scoring affair. McCord, Harrison Jr. Give me the OSU minus the points.
Okay.
Boys.
Okay.
I'm riding with the luck of the Fighting Irish on this one. I think Sam Hartman's got his chance. He's got the real first chance to have a signature victory and prove that his 10 years in college have been worth it. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one, in a close one.
Even though he wears his rib on a necklace, like that's kind of weird.
Especially because he does
That's
that.
kind of weird.
His mom made it for him. It's nice.
Sweet.
Somebody made me a text your friends friendship bracelet at our last show that we played on Saturday. Isn't that cute?
I like that.
That's nice.
It's made with teeth.
Nice.
Who has the other half? Is it like one of those? Like someone else?
There was a 5 bracelet run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where's mine?
Interesting.
It's coming whenever I get my $5 Booch bet, Freed.
Right.
Speaking of Booch, it's on to our last slate pick here.
We are
We've
near the
reached
sediment.
this
Yeah.
sediment.
So here on Booch Ball, we like to not only finish our kombuchas, but we like to scrape the bottom of the college football barrel. So big time group of 5 pick coming up. Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Go Canes.
Go
These are
Canes.
Shout out to the sloth.
Yeah, sloth gang. Stand up.
Gang. All right. Sediment pick.
Slang.
We got the App State Mountaineers. They're based at like 3,000 feet. They're going all the way up to 7,000 to get up to Wyoming to face off with the Cowboys. Wyoming favored by 2.5. Rob Dolphus, who are you picking here?
I like Wyoming here.
Okay.
Not a real reason to it. I feel like Appalachian State only beats Michigan
In North Carolina
And
sometimes.
almost
and North Carolina
Yeah.
sometimes.
Bobby?
Every time I see North Carolina on the board, I take them. I went to Boone, North Carolina to watch our Canes play a few years ago. Shout out Luke Combs. Shout out Eric Church. I'm riding with the black and yellow Mountaineers.
I like that.
Absolutely.
I've always felt my country singer name should be Eric Temple, speaking of Temple Week, but
I got it. That was nice.
That is incredible.
I didn't get it at all. Is it an inside joke that I'm not
Eric
getting?
Church, Eric Temple.
Eric Temple. Okay, got it. I don't know
Yeah.
country music. Moving along. Freed, who do you got here?
Well, I've also been to Boone, North Carolina, not for a football game, but they have a lot of great kombucha there. Booch loving people, but so is Wyoming. They love Booch in the Mountain West, and I am taking Wyoming.
Not so fast, sweetheart. You guys are riding Wyoming when the Cowboys, after they almost tamed those Longhorns, but not Mountaineers are going to win this one, boys. Or at least they're going to cover. So
All right. Well, the most important game of the week, it's time for our Miami game score predictions. Miami favored by 24.5 against Temple. Does anybody have a score prediction to drop for the loyal Boochies? What you got, Alex?
Canes win 38-13.
Very close to my pick, maybe because we're both going off the spread and the total, but
Perhaps.
I am picking 38-14. Go Canes.
Really? Oh my God! All right. Hopefully our defense shows up. Hopefully, do we know what's happening with Cam Kinchins? He's good.
So my understanding is he's like okay, but he's not playing this week.
Yeah, well, we
probably.
got some time.
Yeah.
We'll check back on him later. I'm sure he'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Any score
Boys?
predictions from you, Robs?
You know what? I think this is going to be an interesting one. We call it the Al Golden Bowl.
Or the Manny Diaz?
And
Bowl?
almost the Manny Diaz Bowl. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So
I think
I'm
that's the
gonna
reason
say
we're playing here, right? Is
That's
It's
Manny
going to be a
Diaz?
little sloppy game. I think TVD comes back down to earth. I think Temple's actually not an awful team. Miami wins. They don't cover 35-17.
Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Until this team blows the doors off an inferior opponent consistently, I think we're still pretty mediocre. Let's go with 31-13.
The Rob's tempering expectations. You love to see it.
Templing expectations.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Had that in the chamber. I was wondering when I was going to get to unleash that. All right, boys, we've got our score picks in. It's now time for us to give our final scores for the Booch that we're drinking today. So Freed and I are drinking the raspberry limeade, but Dolphus, start us off here. That's your first time drinking a kombucha. You're drinking last year's champ. What rating would you give it, 1 through 10, and you can use a decimal?
So, Rob, just for a little reference point, a 7 would recommend, an 8 delicious. There's some vantage points on the Booch scale.
This is my first one, and I finished it. And actually, it wasn't a chore to get through it. I'm saying delicious. I'll take 8.
Love it.
Kombuchas are people too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Bobby?
A little bit of a rookie score, not using a decimal there, but hey, I remember my first Booch, so we're going to keep playing. Checking out the flavor profile here of prickly pear. 3 fruity, 0 spicy. It's what we described Freed as a little bit back in the day. 1 floral and 1 herbal. I really liked it. I'm not a pear guy in the first place, but I didn't find it to be overly peary. My wife and I often kind of treat each other with kombuchas now. We go out to Whole Foods, maybe pick one up. You know what I mean? For the old lady.
Yeah.
This is one that I would definitely pick up again. I'm going to go 8.2. 8.2.
8.2.
Nice undercarriage.
All
I
right.
like that. Little horticultural knowledge. Prickly pears actually have nothing to do with pears. They're the fruit of the cactus. So not surprised you're not getting any peariness there, but happy to hear that you're liking it. We got a couple of Boocha believers.
Yeah. All right. Freed, we've had the Booches that we've officially had on the podcast have all been pretty solid this year. I feel like we've kind of hit a nice little groove. We've done some rescoring of previous Booches. And this Booch tells a similar story. It's a pretty classic brew doctor. It's one of the better brew doctors that I've had. I like the fact that we got it sent to us and we got the Founders Series. And you know what? I'm actually gonna bump up my score a decimal point or 2 because of that. So because we got treated to this fancy Booch and it's on any given Booch ball, but I'm just right below that threshold of delicious, we're gonna give it a 7.9.
Dude, I already got my score written down and I'm in the exact same spot. I feel the same way. It was a really good kombucha. I might be feeling a little higher on it because the brew doctor is, they're sitting pretty for me right now. They sent us some kombucha. They're good people. They're in Oregon. They like flightless ducks. So 7.9. No need for the ETF 5 bot today.
That's right. And that is Ibis is they can fly. They're a flightless bird.
Oh yeah.
They're a flightful bird.
That's kind of the history, right? They can fly. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, they can get out of a hurricane's path. All right, boys, the scores are locked in. We've told you what we're drinking, what we're thinking, and who we're picking. Robs, it was lovely to see both of you. Welcome, Bobby James, back to Booch Ball. Dolphus, Dr. Dolphus, welcome to Booch Ball. Dr. Dolphus, do you have anything you would like to plug to our loyal listeners and Boochies?
No, just I'll see you boys in the tailgate lot on Saturday. It's gonna be a great day. Gonna have the parents there. It's gonna be a nice little afternoon.
Love it.
Full family affair.
Beautiful. All right.
Go
What about you, Bobby?
Canes.
Yeah, we'll be in the K lot on Saturday, setting up there probably around 11 a.m. Philadelphia time. Shoot the Booch boys a DM if you want to come through. We got cold beers on tap and maybe a few Booches. Who knows?
Maybe
a
some
couple
Booch
hard
moses.
I would
some
like
Booch
to
moses on the
shotgun.
menu.
I'm planning to shotgun a Booch at some point, so we'll see what happens there.
All right, boys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You got it, boys. All right. See y'all in Temple. We love you, Boochies and the Noochies. Thank you for joining us. And as always,
stay cultured. Peace.